Assalamu alaikum. Again, a new video, a new day, and the same person, Mind Mastery Tutor. So again, just likewise, don't forget to subscribe. If you are a Form 4 student and you want online tuitions, kindly reach out to me 0797 550885. Wangoja nini mwanangu, tafute tuition fees just 1500 shillings per month. Just imagine 1 month unalipa 1500 shillings, unafunza from Monday to Friday at the comfort of your place. Haina haja hata utumie usafirishaji. Uko hapo nyumbani, unaweza tumia simu, unaweza tumia laptop, ukaona kile ambacho sisi tunachokifanya. And there's also questions and answer sessions and etc. So question 1, without using log tables, evaluate. Ukipewa maswali kama haya ni rahisi. 384.16 times 0.0625 over 96.04, square root it. Okay, so first wacha tuiandike 384.16 times 0.0625 divide by 96.04. Then obviously we'll square root it. Now for us to remove, there's something that you need to remove. If you look at the numerator, ndo iko na decimal points nyingi, 1 2 3 4 5 6, so iko na 6 decimal points. So we need to multiply by 1 million, because about 6 zeros hizo, to remove the decimal points and also multiply by 1 million over here. Ndo maana utapata 38416 ishatoka times 625, because all the decimal points itakuwa ushamaliza, but the denominator itakuwa hujamaliza bado, because you'll just deal with only 2 1 2 1 2, and you'll just remain with 9604 times 10,000. Okay, then obviously square root. Sisahau square root, ni muhimu sana. Now the next step that we're going to do here maybe, okay, 9, if you just look at it, 38416, 9604 goes into 38416 4 times. Okay, so by this, okay, tuta divide na 2 baadaye paka utapata 4. So yeah, and 25 goes into 625 25 times. 25 goes into 10,000 400 times. You look at it carefully. Again, 25 5 goes into 25 5 times. 5 goes into 400 80 times. 5 goes into 5 once. 5 goes into 80, if I'm not wrong, 1 and 6. So utabakia 2 na 4 times 1, which is 4 over 16. Then obviously square root of 4 over 16 is 2 over 4, which is just equivalent to a half. That is your answer. So today evaluate without today we're going to do bounds. A very simple topic for GCSE Excel. So again, same thing. Just stay tuned. 06. So question 1, we have m is equal to root of s all over t. Okay, where s is equal to 3.47, something like this. T is equal to 8.132. Correct to 4 significant figure, the other one's corrected to 3 significant figure. By considering bounds, work out the value of m to a suitable degree of accuracy and give a reason for your answer. Okay. So let's find the upper limit and the lower limit. So s, the upper limit for s is 3.475. The lower limit is 3.375. If I'm not wrong, is it 3.375? So, and this one also 3.465. So hizi zero zote za numerator zitatoka. Okay, itakuwa ni 625 maximum should be 8.1325.
Decimal points gets cancelled out.
And minimum is 8.1315.
1, 2, 3,
So yeah,
5,
so
5
those
zeros,
are
only 1, 2,
that's
3,
it.
4, 5.
So let's search for the
Remaining with
upper bound
10.
of m.
Hopefully that.
And now for you to get the upper bound of m, you normally take the upper bound of the s
remember this
over the lower bound of t. So square root
so that you don't
of upper bound of 3.475
256
over
25
t, which is the lower bound. So 8.1315.
8 goes
so just like I've said,
6.
s upper bound
That is
over t lower bound. So let's see how much it's going to give us. So square root of 3.475,
56,
square root of 3.465,
then again,
okay,
5 goes into 25.
So this gives you 1.8,
then
641,
10
over
10 divided by 2 gives
obviously
you
8.1315.
5 goes into 10.
Let's see how much it gives us if you divide it by that.
This one cancels out.
It's going to give us 0.22924.
Just remain with.
Let me write as much as possible. 0.22924.
Okay. Question 3. Evaluate without using mathematical tables. Very simple. 1.9 times 0.032 over 20 times 0.0038. So 1.9 times 0.032 over 20 times 0.0038. So let's multiply. If you look at this one, 2, 3, 4, 4 decimal place. Also this one is 4 decimal place. So just multiply by 10,000 times 10,000. So this gives you 19 times 32 over 20 times 38. Okay, so now let's divide it. So 19 goes into 38 2 times, and 2 goes into 32 16 times, and then you remain with 16 over 20, obviously. So divide by 4, divide by 4, you going to get 4 over 5. Simple as that, and that is your answer. Question 4. Evaluate without using tables. Very simple question. Once more. So 100, you have square roots. You have square root of 0.0128 over 200. Okay, now let's deal with the one that is in the brackets. So this is 1,000 or 100, sorry. So 1,000 times so 0.0128. To remove the decimals, obviously know what to do. You multiply by the 4 zeros, which is 10,000. So also multiply by 10,000 here. We're going to have 1,000 times square root of 128 all over 200, and just write times 10,000. Okay, so times 10,000, just imagine there's times 1 here. So what we normally do is just simplify. Obviously you need to simplify a lot of things. 200 divided by 2 gives you 100, divided by 2 is 64. Okay, and then obviously it's done. So you get 1,000 times square root of 64 over, how many zeros are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 over 1 million. So obviously we know the square root of 64, which is 4. Okay, no, it's 8, and the square root of 1 million is 1,000. So you just remain with 1,000 times 8 over 1,000, which will eventually give you just 8. Okay, question 5. Also another simple question. Without using log tables, evaluate 0.015 plus 0.45 divided by 1.5 over 4.9 times 0.2 plus 0.07 and give the answer in decimal form. Now, Now remember BODMAS here, you also use this concept here. So you have 0.015 plus 0.45 divided by 1.5 over 4.9 times 0.2 plus 0.07. Let's start with the numerator first. Now, obviously, you start with the division sign. So let's see, 0.45 if you divide by 1.5, how much do you get? So obviously, times 100 times 100, you're going to get 45 over 15 times 10. Okay, 15 goes into 45 3 times. That is 3 over 10, which is 0.3. So you know that 0.45 divided by 1.5 is 0.3. So you get 0.015 plus 0.3. Okay, that's something that you've known. So, and then if you take 0.015 adds to 0.3, you're going to get, just do this, 0.015 plus 0.3, you're going to get 0.315, as simple as that. So you get 0.315. So you might think it's very hard, but it's very simple. For this one, obviously start with the multiplication because there's no brackets, there's no division. So what is 4.9 times 0.2? 49 over 10. That's 4.9 times 0.2, which is 2 over 10. 49 times 2 is how much is it? 98. Yeah, it's 98 over 100. So that gives you 0.98. So we know that the answer from 4.9 times 0.2 is 0.98 plus 0.07. Now, after getting that, what happens if you add this to 0.98 plus 0.07? You get 15, add 1, that gives you 10, then it gives you 1.05. So the answer to the denominator is 1.05. So you have 0.315 over 1.05. Now obviously do that thing times 1,000 because the denominator, the decimal points are 3 times 1,000. So you're going to get 315 all over 105. But this cancels out everything, but this only cancels out the 2, and you remain with 10. Okay, now 105 goes into 315 how many times? I think it goes into 315 3 times, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, 105 goes into 315 3 times, so 105 1 3. So you're going to have 3 over 10. And how do you write 3 over 10? It's written as 0.3, and that is your answer. Question 6, express the numbers 1470 and 7056. Right, each as a product of its prime factors, hence evaluate 1470 squared, leaving the answer in prime 1470 squared over square root of 7056, leaving the answer in prime factor form. Okay, so yep, that's not hard. So 1470, let's express it. So you have 1470, which you can write it as 147 times 10. So 10 is going to become 2 and 5. 5 times 2 gives you 10. So 147. Obviously here we need to divide by 147. Can I divide by 9 so that it becomes easy? Let's just divide by 3. 147 divided by 3 gives you 49 and 3, and then divide by 7. So basically just take this ones here. So not that hard. So you're just going to take 2 times 3 times 5 times 7 squared. So yep, what about 7056 then? 7056 is going to be this way. 7056, I need to use the long one, but 7056, I want to use the long one. 7056 divided by 12. Let's use 12 divided by 12. So 12, and this one is 588. So 588 gives you 588 times 12 gives you 7056. This one divide by 2, or let's divide it by 3, so it gives you 4 and 3, and then 2 and 2. What about 588? 588, can you divide by 8? No, 588 divided by 6. Let's divide by 6 so that I can get 98. 98, so 6 goes, it becomes 3 and 2. What about 98? 98 divided by 8. 98 divided by 6. Let's just divide by 2. Divide by 2 is going to give you 49 and 2. So 7 and 7. So just take the prime factors. These are the prime factors. So these are prime numbers, obviously. So those are your prime factors. So this is going to be, how many 2's are there? You have 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and that is 2 to the power of 4 times how many 3's we have there? We have 2 3's. So 3 squared. This is 2 3's, and then we have 2 7's. So 7 squared. Right, now you might think it's easy. You think that is your answer, but that is not your answer. Okay, your answer continues this way. So we said 1470 squared all over square root of 7056. Okay, so 4070 squared, so we'll write 2 times 3 times 5 times 7 squared, then square this whole thing over square root of, obviously, 2 to the power of 4 times 3 squared times 7 squared. So if you square 2, it's going to give you 2 squared. Square 3, 3 squared. Square 5, 5 squared. So if you square 7 squared, it's going to give you 7 power 4. If you square root 2 power 4, you have the power, and therefore you're going to get 2 squared. Have the power of 3, which is 2 divided by 2, which gives you 1. So 3 power 1, and also 7 power 1. Right, now let's see which cancels out. This and this cancel out. Okay, this and this cancel out. It's going to give you only 7 cubed, and this cancels out. It's cancel out with this and just remain with 3. So your final answer is going to be 3 times 5 squared times 7 cubed. So 5 squared is 25 times 3 times 7 cubed, which is 7 cubed is 343. So times 343, let's see how much it's going to give us. 3 times 25 times 343 is going to be 25,725. So 25,725 is our final answer. Yep, let's go to the other question now. Now, for us to answer question 7, you don't need to use a calculator or mathematical table. You've been told without using maths table or calculator, evaluate this thing. So cube roots of 675 times 135 over square root of 2025. So it means that we need to create prime factors here. So let's start with 675. 675 divided by 3, you get 225. So you can't divide by 2, that is why dividing by 3. 225 times 3 gives you 675. Can I divide by 3 still? Yes. So 225 divided by 3 gives you 75 and 3. Can I still divide by 3? Yes, it gives you 25. And last is going to end somewhere. So 25 and 3, and then 5 and 5. So the answer to this is 3 cubed times 5 squared. That's done. Well, about 135. 135 do the same thing. So 135 divided by 3, can it? Yes. So you get 45 and 3 divided by 3 again, because it's going to give you 15 and 3 divided by 3 is going to give you 5 and 3. So the answer to this is 3 cubed times 5. Now lastly is 2025. So 2025, can I divide by 3? Yes. So 2025 divided by 3 is going to give you 675. Okay, then divide by 3 again. It's going to give you the same thing, 225. and then divide by 3 again. So if you divide by 3, it's going to give you 75. Okay, 75 divided by 3 is going to give you 25, and then divide by 5 and 5. So this one is going to give you 3 power 4 times 5 squared. So then how are you going to write this? So remember, there's cube root of 675. So this one's and this one has cube root. So write 3 cubed times 5 squared. Okay, then multiply by 3 cubed times 5, and it has a cube root here. So remember, it's cube root, and then over 2025 had a square root. So remember the square root. So which is 3 power 4 times 5 squared. 3 power 4 times 5 squared, square root it. Okay, now this one will be written as this way. So 3 power this and this, since the bases are the same, what do you do? If the bases are the same, what do you do to the powers? Add the powers. So and therefore 3 plus 3 just get 6. Okay, and this one 5 and 5. So 5 power 2 times 5 power 1, add just the powers. 2 plus 1 gives you 5 cubed. So cube root it and square root this ones. Now when cube rooting a number with a power, you just have there, especially if you're cube rooting, you don't have it, you divide it by 3. So you take the power, divide by 3, like 6 divided by 3 times 5 cubed, which is 3 divided by 3. And if it's a square root, you have the power, so you take 4 divided by 2 times 5, which is power 2 divided by 2. So 6 divided by 3 will give you 3 power 2 times 5 power 1 all over 3 power 2, okay, times 5 power 1. So going to get the same thing. So this and this cancels, this and this cancels, and you just remain with 1. Does that really make sense? Does it really make sense? Let's confirm. Let me just use my calculator to see whether it's correct or not. Okay, I have a square root of 2025. Yeah, this is correct. So the answer is truly 1. Let's go to the other question. Okay, question 8. I just saw something funny. That's why I'm laughing. Question 8. Evaluate without using math tables or a calculator. 0.0084 times 1.23 times 3.5 over 2.87 times 0.056. So you have 0.0084 times 1.23 times 3.5 all over 2.87 times 0.056. Now let's multiply. Ukiangalia gani ndo iko na decimal point nyingi, 1 2 3 4 5. Hii ni kidogo, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Hii ni nyingi, so multiply by 7 zeros. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. So that is around 10 million. So also multiply by 10 million here. So this ones will cancel out. So itakuwa na 84 times 123 times 35. But the denominator we won't cancel out. Sawa, kwa sababu hapa ni 1 2, ita cancel out, but now itabakia na 0 digits. So 1 2 3 4 5. So it'll just cancel out 1 2 3 4 5. So write 287 times 56 times 100. Now let's continue from there. Now okay, now let's see how we can solve this thingy. Now divide by 3 here. If we take 287 divided by 3, 3 goes into 28 4 times. Can we divide by 3 really? 287 divided by 3, no. Can we divide by maybe 7? Yeah, divide by 7 by the way to give you 41. Also divide by 7 to give you 5. Then 41 goes into 123 3 times. did 3 times. 41, yeah, 3 times. So yeah, simple as that. Now, okay, now let's simplify it. 56 divided by 2 is 28. 84 divided by 2 obviously is 42. You can still simplify it. Divided by 2 gives you 14. Divided by 2 gives you 21. Divided by 7 gives you 2. Divided by 7 gives you 3. Right. Very tricky now. I'm trying to simplify, but now if I see, I can't simplify it. But you say they totally express the answer as a fraction in its simplest form, then there's no problem. So 5 by 5, 1 by 5 goes into 120 times. So just remain with 3 times 3 over 20 times 2, which will be 9 over 40. And that is your answer. Very simple answer, not that difficult. Now, what if you have question 9? You have a question like this: a root of 5,184 over 6 times negative 18 divided by 9 plus into bracket 5 minus negative 3. Right, without using calculators obviously. So kupata root of 5,984, yani lazima sasa uoneshe pale how you get it obviously. So 5,984, if I divide it by let me just divide it by 2. So 2, you get 2,592. Then divide by 2 again. You're going to get 1,296. Then divide by 2. Obviously, you're going to get 648. Then divide by 2. You're going to get 324. Okay, then divide by 2 again. Itakuwa nyingi. 1. 3 divided by 2. 324 divided by 162. And then obviously divide by 2 again. It gives you 81. So it gives you 81. Then divide by 3. It gives you 27 and 3. Okay. Then divide by 3 again. 9 and 3, and then 3 and 3. So 9 and 3, 3 and 3. So if you look at this, how many 2's do you have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we have 4 3's. So it's 2 power 6 times 4 3's, which is 3 power 4. Okay, so you write it as 3 power 4. Now let's start with the numerator, because the numerator is telling us to find the square root of 2 power 6 times 3 power 4, which will give us, we have, if I've already told you, if you're square rooting, you have the power. So 6 divided by 2 gives you 3, and 4 divided by 2 gives you 3 squared. So we did finish with the numerator. Now let's go to the denominator. The denominator is much easier. So you start with BODMAS. Is there bracket? Yes. If there's brackets, we start with 5. We have 6 times negative 18 divided by 9 plus 5 minus negative 3, which will give you 5 plus 3. 5 plus 3 is 8. So we finish the bracket. Then go to division. So minus 18 divided by 9 gives you minus 2 plus 8. Then is followed by multiplication. 6 times negative 2 is negative 12 plus 8 is going to give you negative 4. Okay. Now, what is 2 cubed times 3 squared? 2 cubed is 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8. 3 squared is 9. So this is 72. So the numerator is 72 divided by the denominator, which is negative 4. Negative 4 goes into 72 18 times. So your answer should be negative, because you're dividing by a negative number. So that is your answer. Simple as that. Now, you've been told use the prime factors of 17, 64, and 27, 44 to evaluate, obviously, square root of 17, 64, and cube root of 27, 44. So again, much easier. draw the tree table. Divide by 2. 1764 divided by 2 is going to give you 882. Then divide by 2 is going to give you 441. Then you can't divide by 2, and therefore you divide by 3. It's going to give you 147. So obviously you can't divide by 2, or you just continue dividing by 3. So it's going to give you 49. And last but not least, is going to give you divide by 7 to give you 7 and 7. So this one is 2 squared times 3 squared times 7 squared. For this one, 20, let's do it for 2744. Also, it's going to take a lot of space, but all in all, shall I use the shortest way? Let me use the shortest way. Let's say if you divide by 4, it's going to give you 686, and 4 in each 4 is going to give you 2 and 2. So can I divide by 4 still? No. So let me just divide by 2. It's going to give you 343 and 2. So this is 343 and 2. Then divide by 3. It's going to give you, no, can't divide by 3. 343 divided by 7 is going to give you 49. So you have 49 and 7, then 7 and 7. So these are your prime factors. So which will be 2 cubed times 7 cubed. Okay. Now we said we square root it. We square root because you square root 1764 divided by the cube root of 2744. Okay. Now this one, in square root, you just take the pairs of 2. So in this case, instead of writing 2 2's, you'll just write 1 2, 1 3, and 1 7. So the square root of 1764 is just 2 times 3 times 7. So the answer for that is this one. For the cube root, we take pairs of 3's. So this is this. So instead of writing 2 cubed, you'll just write as 2, and we'll just write 1 7. Instead of writing 3 7's, you'll just write 7. This and this cancel out, this and this cancel out, and you remain with 3 as your answer. Okay, let's finish up with this question. We remain with 2 more questions, but evaluate 0.0961 over 4.0836 minus 3.7112 correct to 4 decimal places. Hence, write the answer in standard form. A very tricky question. So obviously, your numerator just remains this. For the denominator, we need to subtract this one. So let's take 4.0836 minus 3.7112 minus 8 is going to give you 4, 2, 7, 10. This one give you 3 and 0. So you have 0.3724, 0.3724. That don't forget there's the square root there. So yeah. So once you know that, now let's remove the decimals, because this has 4 decimal points. You just multiply by 10,000. 10,000, and you just remain with 961 over 3724. That's the square root of 961, really. Yeah, there is square root of 961, but also can 961 go to 3724? Can it? No. So what I know is that square root of 961 is 31. But please use the factor method. I think you've studied that. For now, because of time, I'll just simplify it. So I knew it's 31 over square root of 3724. Use the factor method. There isn't square root factor method. What? Just a moment then. Unless I've subtracted it badly. 4.0836 minus 3.7112. So yeah, it's supposed to be 0.3724. 961 divided by 3. Can I do that? 961 divided by 7. 961 divided by 11. Just a moment. Now it's a very tricky question, and if you don't focus on it. Okay, 961. There's no other way but just divide by 3724, square root it, just use a calculator. So it's going to give you 0.5079, 4 significant figure. So just write it as 0 point, because it's saying 4 decimal places, so it's going to be 0.50080. So in which we need to write it in standard form. It should be written as 5.080 times 10 power negative 1. So that is our answer. Okay, question 12. I think we're very near to finish. Without using mathematical tables or calculator, evaluate 5.4 over 0.025 times 3.6. Okay, now obviously multiply by 1, 2, 3, 4, 10,000, multiply by 10,000, and you're going to get 5.4. That is, if you remove this, you're just going to remain with 10 times 1,000 all over 25 times 36. Okay, now divide by 2 gives you 18, divide by 2 gives you 27, divide by 2, divide by maybe 3 gives you 6, divide by 3 gives you 9, and divide by 3 gives you 2, divide by 3 gives you 3. Then obviously divide by 2, 1, this one gives you 500, and 25 goes into 500 20 times. Okay, that is 20 times. Yeah, it goes into that is 20 times. Yes. So again, the answer, the final conclusion will be 3 times 20, which is 60. I didn't use a calculator. That is my answer. The last question, without using mathematical tables or calculator, evaluate 0.13 times 0.3 minus 0.003 over 0.09, giving the answer in decimal form. So again, we use BODMAS rule. So times, let's start with the numerator. Okay, let's start with the numerator. So if you take 0.13 times 0.3, because it has 3 decimal points, 13 times 3 would give you 39. But since it has 3, it's going to be 0.039. So you have 0.039 minus 0.003. So I've done with this part here over 0.09. So if you subtract 0.039 with 0.003, you're going to get 0.036. So that is 0.036 divided by 0.09, then multiply by 1,000. Multiply by 1,000, you're going to get 36 over 90. Okay, yeah, over 90. So divide by 9 is 10, divide by 9 is 4, and that is why 4 over 10 can be rewritten as 0.4. That is your decimal form. Now again, don't forget to subscribe, share, and again, just like I've said, my guys, my number is this one. Again, don't forget to join our classes, just 1,500 shillings per month. Okay, Monday to Friday, and obviously from 7:15 to 8:30 p.m. after school hours, and maths, chemistry, and biology. So not hard subjects. Okay, so again, don't forget to subscribe, share, and like it.